What Strive is doing is we're going to be doing all the beta plays that you see today, but we're also going to be layering on top of that alpha that we can bring as an asset manager, because that's what we do. We're alpha seekers.
We have $500 million of Bitcoin.
$750 million, plus the potential for an additional $750 million, so $1.5 billion through the exercise of warrants.
This is the biggest story in all of finance, right here.
The first publicly traded asset management Bitcoin treasury companies.
In the 21st century, we believe that risk rate of return hurdle is Bitcoin.
5 years from now, 2030, I think Bitcoin is a $7 trillion asset. We'll see some of the larger companies have a cost basis of over $1 million per Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is long-term savings technology. It could go to $1 million incredibly fast.
Bitcoin is a hurdle rate.
So with this little clip here, you see Strive announces that they are going to acquire Semler Scientific, and this will give Strive over 10,000 Bitcoins. Bitcoin Bros talked about this in one of our previous live streams, where Bitcoin treasuries would start to accumulate other Bitcoin treasuries for a various amount of different reasons. So if you're not in this treasury game and don't see what's going on, this is just getting started and just getting ramped up. And with that, what's happening in Crypto Cruise, Sean's coming back at you with another cryptocurrency video. We're getting straight into it. The Bitcoin price at the current time of this recording is around 112.5K. And once again, this is something the Bitcoin Bros told you about. Because why? We broke through this dotted line and we came up and hit our head on this upwards resistance. We talked about this inverse head and shoulders pattern that could be playing out, but we did tell you that we could blast through this the last time we talked about this, but we could get that back test. The back test of this line and this moving average, we came down and kissed it almost perfectly. Now, will this hold? Will we see lower price action? Time will definitely tell. If we do go lower, the area to pay attention to is 108. And the next area to pay attention to is 101.1, because if we break structure and break down, that means we could get a lower pullback. Now, right now, we're holding above support currently. It looks like this could be an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We showed you these targets, but in other news, Metaplanet has made some waves. At the current close, market's closed at 411. And we've melted all the way down. Metaplanet went all the way up to $16, down to $4. This is a major pullback, but once again, Metaplanet is one of those treasury companies that's just getting started. Why are we saying this? Look at this recent Bitcoin purchase today, 5419. Yep, 5,419 Bitcoin are acquired, giving them total holdings of 25,555 Bitcoin. And Metaplanet is not slowing down. Dylan LeClaire is saying, please note, this purchase is the very first tranche, meaning there's going to be a lot of big purchases like this from Metaplanet to come in the future. They have to start scaling up their purchases in order to hit that 210,000 Bitcoin target by the end of 2027. This is just ramping up. Bitcoin corporate adoption is occurring right before our eyes. Check out this quick clip.
Matt Hogan, he is CIO of Bitwise Asset Management. Matt, welcome. I'm going to quote Matt Hogan to Matt Hogan. There are now more than 180 public companies that have added Bitcoin to their balance sheet, according to BitcoinTreasuries.net. That sounds like a lot.
It's a down payment. I think that number is going up. You know, some of these companies are those so-called DATs, digital asset treasuries, that just buy Bitcoin for their balance sheet. Mackenzie is right that momentum is somewhat fading. But on the other side of the balance sheet, you have a broader set of companies that, just like individuals, want to have 5 or 10% Bitcoin. Companies like Figma, companies like Block. I still think that corporate number is going to double over the next year or so. The amount of Bitcoin on the balance sheets are going to go up. And I think there's an even bigger story in ETFs, where the flows, from my perspective, are set to accelerate strongly into Q4. So I am still feeling bullish about this market. I take this pullback as an opportunity and not a setback as we move into Q4.
And as you see in this quick clip here we showed you, this is Bitwise CIO telling you that the Bitcoin Treasury playbook, 180 companies, is just the tip of the iceberg. This will continue to expand as time progresses. And getting straight into it, continuing, Bitcoin's repeating the 2017 fractal. There's some bullishness in these charts. Look at 2017, 2018, we hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, then the 5. And look at the confluence in these charts. 1, 2, 3, 4. That fifth leg could be playing out before we go into some type of pullback and some type of bear season. But right now, a lot of bullishness in the charts. Right here, check this out. This looks like some bearishness. It's like a rising wedge pattern. But you come into this in a bullish fashion, though. That's the thing to pay attention to. And this technically is a bearish breakdown. So will we get a bearish pullback on this, or will we come into this rising wedge pattern and have a continuation to the upside? You be the judge. Well, Hans Akamasu is weighing in as well, and he's saying his micro term target still remains to be 102.5, and he's calling for this breakdown, the RSI, having sort of a pullback, a meltdown. Look on the weekly basis. If you look when this flips red, what happens? The bottom's already been in. The bottom's already been in. We haven't flipped red quite yet. So could we get that pullback down to that 102 like he is predicting? And in other news, U.S. lawmakers urge SEC to implement Trump's executive order allowing Americans to invest 401k retirement savings into Bitcoin and crypto. Americans hold over $9 trillion in 401k savings. So $9 trillion. What percent of that will go into Bitcoin if this floodgates open? We hope you're positioned. Without further ado, we'll leave you with the latest clip from what Michael Saylor's talking about with Bitcoin in the crypto space. Let's hear from Michael.
This is a 30-year chart of returns on the S&P index. And this chart tells you that if you missed one day, there's one day every year when 85%, 90% of all of the gains come. One day. And there are 36 hours a year when all investment return takes place. So in 365 days, nothing happens 99.5% of the time. This is why we have the laser eyes. This is why we say HODL, because, and I have said before, trading Bitcoin is a sign of lesser intellect.
And there's Saylor showing you some data points. Are you going to be one of lesser intellect, or are you going to hodl? And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate each and every one of you. With that, I'm out.